Good morning, good morning, and welcome to another edition of our Instagram live session. My name, like I always say, has not changed. My name remains Azuharinze, and my guest this beautiful morning is Rotarian Kunle Adeyanju. Adeyanju arguably is one of the most talked about Nigerians at the moment. And the reason is simple. To create awareness for polio, he rode a power bike from London to Nigeria. The unusual and unprecedented trip took him all of 41 days from Offa in Kwara State. The ex-staff of Shell Petroleum, Orlando PLC, and British American Tobacco is also the incoming imaginative president of Rotary Club of Ikoyi Metro. The London-based but Nigeria-born adventurous CEO of Pelicians DNO will be sharing with us this morning what triggered that momentous trip, as well as some of the things that transpired in the course of the trip. Please remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Our YouTube channel is the Yes NG TV, THEYESNG THEYESNG. All right, the Lion Heart, like he is popularly known, is already here. Let me see if I can bring him in. The Lion Heart, you can also send me a request if I can get you from my own end. All right. Wow. A round of applause for the Lion Heart before we start. Good morning, the Lion Hearts. Good morning, Rotarian Adeyanju. Good morning, the incoming imaginative president of Rotary Club of Ikoyi Metro. So nice to have you join us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes. All right. I'll go straight to the point so that I don't waste too much of your time. All right. My first question will be, how did you conceive the idea of traveling from London to Nigeria on a power bike?
Well, you see, my kind of person, a guy I'm an outdoor person. I'm a guy who like all this adventure stuff, all these diehard things. That's my DNA, that's I'm wired. And before this, I've done a couple of diehard things too. And what I normally do is I have a life plan for myself, which is what are those things I want to do in the next 5 years and the next 10 years. These are plan of things I've done for myself. So London to Lagos is one of those life plans I've built for myself in a couple of years back. So it's just been actualized now. And the unique thing about this, and like with the other ones, is I decided to use this to support a cause. The other ones too, like the climbing of Mount Kilimanjaro, was actually to support and to raise funds to care for HIV/AIDS orphans in Africa. That was the idea behind climbing Mount Kilimanjaro twice, which I did in 2008 and 2009. Then here, I decided to target polio because like polio too is a personal fight for me because I knew someone who had polio. Sadly, he passed on 2 years ago, but the memory of the pain, okay, and the challenges he went through was still very fresh with me.
Interesting. Now, you just told us the reason why you chose to go on the trip. Now, this trip took you all of 41 days. How would you sum up the entire experience?
I can tell you it's been a heck of a ride. Those 41 days Well, those 41 days were not all riding days, but there are a lot of those days were actually dedicated to also to do the meet and greet, and also to actually go out to the field to meet polio victims, to meet people who are volunteering their time, okay, to actually help eradicate polio in Africa. But looking at the actual ride itself, it's been mind-blowing. It's been a heck of a ride. Every day of the ride was painful. Every day was fraught with risk, fraught with challenges, fraught with pain. But you know, like when you want to do something, I mean, I can't expect to say I'm going to ride 12,000 kilometers and I will find it easy through the most inhospitable places on earth. I know it was going to be difficult. It was going to be painful. But the thing is, I never knew it was going to be that painful. But like for me, I made it a point that which I said is either it's a case of sink or swim. You are in it. It's either you swim out or you sink and you die there. And I decided to swim, and that's what happened. That's why I'm here today.
Interesting. Interesting. So what was the most remarkable thing, that happened to you in the course of those 41 days?
Well, for me, like I keep saying, is the discovery of the true story of the African people. That is the most remarkable experiences that I've had on this trip. Because before embarking on this trip, I read practically all the intelligence information I could lay my hands on all the countries I want to travel. In part of building up the plan to actually know what are those things that I need to do? What are those things I need to know? Where are those places I should avoid? And I can tell you, all the countries in Africa, with the exception of Morocco, were either red or amber. Like amber, you exercise great caution. Red, don't go. I mean, there is high risk of something bad or something evil happening. Those are all the things I read about those countries. And they were all negative. But when I rode into this country, like I said, I rode 12,000 kilometers. 3,100 kilometers was done from London to Algeciras. That's the boundary of Europe. The other 9,000 kilometers were done on African soil from North Africa down to West Africa. And this 9,000 took me through the cities, the towns, the villages, the lonely places, the isolated places. And I can tell you, all these places I passed through, everything I discovered was the true story of the African people. The people are hospitable. African people are nice. African people are friendly. They are generous. They are welcoming. Like I had an experience in Mali. Yeah, because of the ECOWAS blockade of Mali. Before I ingress Mali and clear the custom and everything, it took quite a while. So by the time I finished with the custom, immigration, and the police, it was like 7 p.m. in the night. And while I was going in the night, right, darkness set in suddenly, and a truck that was trying to avoid a pothole on his own lane blinded me, swerved to my lane. In trying to avoid collision with the truck, I swerved away, and I ran into a ditch where I lost my rear tire. And this was like about 8:30 p.m. in the night. And the place where I lost my rear tire was around a park, a game reserve. And in that game reserve, there are lions, there are hyenas, there are cheetahs. All those animals are there. So when I became like a sitting duck, I couldn't move. It was very, challenging and troubling for me. And the next thing I said is, okay, I need to put height between me and whatever animal that is here. And in the night, the animal can see you, but you can't see them. By the time you see them, it's too late because they have like infrared eyes. So I ran trying to climb a tree. As I was trying to climb this tree just to put height between me and any animal down, I saw a ray of light like 400 meters away. Then I came down from the tree. I ran to the light. And when I got to that place, it was a village of 3 hamlets. And when I got there, I couldn't speak French. I don't speak French. I couldn't speak their local dialect too. But I used sign language to communicate to them. And the funny thing was, these people, the same people that the news media, the Western media claim are bad people, they are red zone. If you get stranded there, you get killed, you die, avoid this, do that. These are the same people that welcome me. They gave me a chair to sit down. They calmed me down. They gave me water. Then they went back with me 400 meters to recover my bike. They kept protected my bike for me. Then I left them I got my interpreter to bring the vehicle, who rescued me to the town I was going. The following morning, we came back to pick my bike, and nothing was taken from my bike. To me, that is a story of hospitality. That is a story of true generosity, kindness of the African people. And that's exactly what I discovered all through my trip, in my interaction with people. And I realized that all those things they wrote about them, it's a lie. It's not true. Africa is a land of diversity, a land of honest and peace-loving people, warm people, hospitable people. That's what I discovered. So for me, that was the high moment of my discovery on this adventure.
Interesting. Interesting. In all the countries, that you passed through, where did you enjoy the greatest hospitality?
Actually, all the countries have been great so far, but I enjoyed Cote d'Ivoire more. Maybe because Zainab was there, but I enjoyed Cote d'Ivoire more.
We'll still come back to Zainab. But I like that. I like that. Now, was there any country where you were poorly treated?
Yes, I had a terrible experience in Mauritania.
Okay.
And that prompted me to write how bad the experience was. And when I wrote that experience, I shared it on my social media handle. I don't know how, but it got to the president of Mauritania. It got to the attention of the president of Mauritania. And when he got it, I think they knew I was going into Senegal. I actually wrote it when I was in Senegal, so I left Mauritania for Senegal. So I think I don't know what transpired between the president of Mauritania and the ambassador, but I know that they started looking for me in Senegal. And they got me through the Nigerian ambassador in Senegal. And there I met the Mauritanian ambassador. We had an interaction where we discussed, all this. And he apologized to me on behalf of the Mauritanian people. And I know in every country there are bad people, but there are also good people. But maybe I was unfortunate that all the people I met when I was there were bad people. But after the apology, I told him I've accepted the apology. So I think since I've accepted the apology, let me not re-narrate the story. Because I believe also there are good people in Mauritania. Maybe I was just unfortunate that all the people that I came across were bad people. But the good thing is all the people that did all those evil to me, because it was in 6 or 7 different locations, which I experienced the same bad treatment. The good thing I can say is they are all in prison now. Their government rounded them up, and they actually imprisoned all of them, including the police officers who were involved. So it's not that I'm happy that they are in prison, but I'm happy because it will be a lesson to them, so that they don't treat foreigners who come to their country that way.
Interesting. Now, how did you secure, your family's support, before embarking on this very dangerous trip, if you ask me?
I quite agree with you. It is extremely dangerous, because a lot of things happen on the journey that even I didn't plan for. But like they say, when you go on an adventure like this, you plan both for the expected and the unexpected. But the unexpected that happened shook me. But going back to the question you asked, which was how did I secure my family support? Like, they know the kind of person I am. And I love all this adventure. And also they know that because I've done quite a lot. And I've done stuff with them too. And they also know that I plan very well when I want to do something. So when I told my children I was going to do this, the only thing they said to me is, okay, Dad, go for it, but make sure you come back.
Interesting. Now, what gave you the assurance that you would travel and come back in one piece safely, that nothing will happen to you, that you won't lose your life and everything?
It's planning. Because, like I said, it took me a year to build this plan. And, while I was building the plan, I made sure that at every point I have a fail-safe system. A fail-safe system, which what I mean is, even if everything fails, it is too safe for me to go. So, and that has to do with like making sure that in every country and all the towns and all the villages that I'm gonna pass through, I have the contacts and a working contact to the police formation, to the hospital, to medical emergency, and also I had an insurance which provides airlift, medical airlift in case I need such such medical rescue. So during those kind of plan, and like also I make sure in part of building my plan that I'm not just riding till I'm tired. Because when you ride till you're tired, you just go and say, okay, I keep riding till I get to a place to stop. That is a bad plan. But mine is, I did my plan to make sure that I'm not riding till I'm tired, like I said, because if you ride till you're tired, the next day you'll be more tired. The day after, you'll be so much tired, and by the fourth day, you collapse. So, but I had to decide, what can my body take? What kind of torture can my body take? So when I realized what can my body take, then I decided to come down like 10% below what my body can take. And that's what I kept doing. And I make sure that everything I will do in a day lands me in a town or in a village where I can get a good accommodation to sleep, rest, and be able to continue for the following day. So it all takes planning. And I say, the reason why I'm here today, why I was able to do the trip, was because I planned very well.
Interesting. Now, talking about planning, how long did it take you to plan this trip?
1 year.
1 year. 1 year. Okay. Now, before I take my other questions, there are some people who are asking questions. So let me take two of their questions, then I'll come back to my own questions. One person wants to know the type of bike that you used for the trip. Then the second person wants to know how you were able to cross the ocean, in the course of your trip. So maybe let's just give them that opportunity to also hear you out before I come to my own questions.
Okay, the kind of bike I use is called a Honda CB500X. And the X stands for Adventure Series, which means the bike has both on-road and off-road capabilities. Because if you're going on this Sahara, you can't use a racing bike. You can't use a road bike because you can never tell where there will be sand where you don't have road. And it happened because at the boundary between, the no man's land between Morocco and Mauritania, the 5-kilometer stretch, no man's land. It's all earth, it's all desert sand. So I chose a bike that I know I'm going to run into an off-road situation. So I had to get a bike that can cope for both. So that's the bike. And also a key thing why I selected the bike again is, I look at the bike that I'll be coming in from the sub-zero temperature of the European continent down into almost plus 50 at just the same transition, not that maybe it's staying like some months before going into, is you are coming in from sub-zero and just straight into almost 50. So I need a bike that can tolerate that kind of torture. Then also range also is another particular issue here because, let me give you an example. The tank capacity of the bike, the fuel tank capacity is 17 liters, but it gives me a range of 500 kilometers. If I take a bike that is gas guzzler, so much powerful engine like the 1250, the BMW GS 1250, or the 1800 police bike, I'm having too much power that I don't need, and it's gonna cause me problem. Like the bike weighs 190 kilos. Right. Why the GS, for example, weighs 269 kilos? If you ride on the desert, in the desert sound, you fall down. Falling is part of riding. If you fall down, you drop the bike. Who's going to help you carry 269 kilos when the bike is falling on your leg? But if it's 190, if it falls on my leg, I can still manage to use, to lift it up and take out my leg, then raise the bike. So these are all those factors you need to consider in sizing your bike. So there has to be the proper sizing. You can't take excess power that you don't need. It's a waste. And so you just take the power you need that will push you through all those hard conditions. So that was why I actually choose that particular bike, the mid-range series of the Adventure series.
Yes, in crossing the ocean, someone asked the question, how were you able to do that? Just shed some light on that.
There are 3 water crossings. There are 3 water crossings on this journey. The first one is crossing the English Channel That's from Dover to Calais in France. They have ferry services. There are two ways. You can use the Eurotunnel or you can use the ferry. But I chose to use the ferry. The Eurotunnel is 35 minutes, but you're under a hole. You don't see anything. I've done that before, but I chose the ferry because I'm on the ship. I can actually come out and see the sky, look at the water. It's more exciting. So I chose the ferry service to cross that. The second one, water crossing, is crossing from Algeciras into Tangier, Morocco. That's where you cross the Mediterranean Sea via the Strait of Gibraltar into Tangier. That's a 40-minute water crossing. Also, I use the ferry. That one, there's no tunnel. It's only ferry you can use. Then the third water crossing is crossing from Rosso in Mauritania into Saint Louis in Senegal. That is a very short one. It's a 5-minute barge crossing. You know, a barge just takes you across that. It's a 5-minute crossing. So basically, those are the 3 water crossing along the way.
Oh, interesting. Interesting. Now, let me come back to my own questions. Now, before taking off, before embarking on this journey, did anybody try in any way to discourage you? Were there people who tried to tell you, don't do this, Kunle, don't, you know, yeah.
So many people tried. You know, a lot of people who heard I was going to do this. You know, there are a lot of comments that comes across. Oh, he's crazy, he's mad, he's lost his senses. Oh, he doesn't know what to do with his money. You know, all those kind of things. But I'm used to it. I'm used to being called crazy. And every time people call me crazy thing, you sort of tell me
We're not hearing you very well.
Oh, okay. Is it better now?
Yeah, it's better now. It's better now.
I'm used to being called, a lot of people call me crazy. They said I was crazy, I was losing it, that you don't know what to do with your money. You just want to go, you know, like kill yourself. If you want to be suicidal, why not do it another way? But, you know, I'm being used to being called crazy. Anytime I want to do something and people say crazy, it tells me I'm on the right path. So it doesn't deter me. It only tries to, you know, when you hear those comments like that, you only try to reinforce it, see that, okay, go ahead, you're on the right path, but think harder. Think harder because it's your thought that will bring you on.
All right, so on the whole, how much did you spend on this trip?
I can tell you it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. Let me give you an example alone. The bike alone cost me about £7,000. That's excluding documentation. Because if you, okay, part of the documentation, let me give you the insurance. Insurance alone for the bike, because, okay, the insurance was a bit pricey because I don't have a motorcycle license in the UK. I only have a driver's license for vehicle in the UK, but not motorcycle. And motorcycle is considered high risk. So I have a bike license in Nigeria, but not the UK. So because I was going to be riding a bike and I was using my Nigerian driver's motorbike license, the insurance premium was quite high. So the insurance premium alone for the bike was £2,800.
Wow.
So when you put all that together, you can begin to see the bike cost £7,000. The insurance alone is costing like £2,800. That's already close to £10,000. Then you can now estimate all of that cost again that goes with it, like some other little issues about registration that you need to do. Then even look at the cost of like all the travels down, the fueling, the hotels. You know, if you look at average of maybe like $80 per night for hotel, for all those periods, you can begin to imagine how expensive the trip is.
Wow.
But
interesting.
It's what all the money spent. That's the most important.
I like that. I like that. Now, one of the reasons, or rather, one of the major reasons you embarked on this journey was to create awareness for polio and also to raise money for your projects as the incoming president of Rotary Club of Ikoyi Metro. How much of that would you say you have realized so far?
The truth is, I don't know. Because I don't have access to the account. You know, all donation goes into the Rotary account. And because of the convention, a lot of people have traveled for the convention. So people who are supposed to give me an idea of what we've raised so far are not yet around. So hopefully maybe they'll come back next week, maybe by 5th or 7th of June. So when they come in, you can get the bank statement and begin to see how much we have been able to raised so far.
Interesting. Interesting. Now, was there ever a time, during the journey that death, in the wilderness or something like that crossed your mind?
Several times. Several. Several. Actually,
Okay.
there are instances, when things happen and I saw death. I saw death coming. But miraculously, something just come. Nature, universe just speaks for me, and the death disappears. The first one happened to me was on the Spanish coastline. I think that was between Cartagena and Algeciras, and I thought I was gonna die. I was riding on the coastline. The wind was like hurricane force winds. I was on the bike. Even trucks were being swept all around the road. The wind was blowing cars and trucks all a zigzag on the road. And the gust wind took me off. The wind took me off the ground. The rear wheel of the bike went off the ground. And I was like suspended for a while. And
Wow.
I thought I was going down on my head because I was slanting almost like 60 degrees. And I don't know, miraculously, something just came and steadied me.
I like that.
That was one.
That, that was really hand of God.
The second of such experiences was in the Sahara. There was this time I was riding. I experienced three windstorm, sandstorm. Sorry, I experienced 3 sandstorm in the Sahara. The longest
Wow.
one was like an hour 40 minutes, and the sandstorm was so bad that I can't even stand. If I stand, it's gonna lift me up. It's gonna, carry me away. If my bike Eagle was standing by the road on the stand, it would probably lift off Eagle. I had to lie the bike down on the Sahara. Then I had to lie face down, tucking my head under the bike, just waiting for an hour 45 minutes for the storm to pass. And the sandstorm there was so terrible that thank God I had a very good helmet that sealed. Then I actually used some clothes to cover my head. But the sandstorm was so terrible that up till now I still see scratches that the sand left on my helmet.
Wow.
And while waiting there for an hour 45 minutes, lying face down in the heat of the Sahara, facing the extreme heat, it was really terrible. A lot of things crosses your mind, and you want to ask yourself, is this the last day? The thought came to me several times.
Interesting. 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 Now, having gone, and returned safely, will you try something like this again?
Well, like I told you, I have a series of plans that I want to do. I actually have one that I hope to do in the next 2 years or so. And that is I'm going to be riding from Lagos to Israel, then from Israel to Turkey, then from Turkey, I'm going to Tibet. Actually, my destination is going to Mount Everest Base Camp, but I want to ride the Tibetan plane before going to the Everest Base Camp. Then when I get there, I want to try to attempt Mount Everest.
You are just full of adventures. All right. We learned that you have climbed one mountain already. Why do you like this dangerous, adventurous journeys? Why are you fascinated? Why are you fixated on things like that?
Well, you see, if you look at it, they call who is the scientist?
Yeah.
They'll say a scientist is a kid that grew up to be a man, but never lost his adventurous spirit, his curiosity. So for me, it's my DNA. God created all of us as natural explorer, because that was why He created this world with so much diversity. And for me, the world is like a book. It's like a giant book. Everywhere you go, it's like you open another page in that big book of life. And the more the pages you open, the more you get to see, and the more your worldview, get broadened, and you can see things. So my DNA, my kind of person, I want to see as much as I can see. I don't want to wait till maybe like when I'm 100 or when I'm 90, I'm ready to go back home to my maker and look back at my life and say, oh, I wish I had done this. I wish I want to see as much as I can so that I can appreciate, the beauty of this universe, the great work of the maker of everything we have in here. That's how I want to live my life.
Interesting. Interesting. Now, you call yourself the Lionheart. Why?
Actually, you see, that nickname actually came from my grandma.
Okay.
And the nickname came when I was 10 years old.
Wow.
A long time back. And I think that was my first time of meeting my grandma. And they took us to the village. So we went to the village. The first time meeting your grandma. She was all excited. But after 3 days with grandma, she was already getting tired of me. Because that time they said I make too much trouble. And there was one day I caused another trouble, and a very daring one. And they said, Grandma just said to me in Yoruba, like meaning, why is your own house so strong like that of a lion like this?
Okay.
So that was how, since then, the lion
house. All right. Now, you will be assuming office on July 1, 2022 as the imaginative president of Rotary Club of Ikoyi Metro.
Correct.
What plan have you got for your club?
Well, after PET, where we met, and the DGE, Omotune rolled out our plan, for the year. So for me, that was a critical moment. I was able to extract, my own plan from her own vision as the district governor, because I have to align, with her own vision. So from our own plan, I was able to extract my own plan where I developed my task and target for my team members. That's my board of directors for each of the avenues of service. So we've already built this plan vis-a-vis the project we want to do, and it's been communicated to them since like 4 days after PET. So what we're going to be doing in next Rotary year, come July 1, everybody already know in the club, it's clear. We have some rural empowerment projects. We have water sanitation projects, which are going to be doing. And we have education projects, which also will be doing. And let me share the education with you. My alma mater, my secondary school, where I went, I met with a couple of the old students. And we all
what was the name of the school?
Baptist Secondary School is in Kwara State.
Baptist Secondary School, all right, go ahead, yeah.
And I met a couple of the old student association. I said, we need to do something. I'm going to be president of my Rotary Club next year. And I want to give back to this school. So I need you guys to join me. What this school critically needs now is they need an IT hub. Let's come together. Build them a 100-seater capacity computer hub. And a lot of them agreed, and 50 of them agreed that they'll be donating 2 computers each. So with each person donating 2 computers, that's 100 computers. And I and some people will come up with the building and we'll put the physical structure in place. Some other people will come in with the furnitures and co. So that way, it's a key project we hope to deliver within the next Rotary year. So it's a very personal goal, which I want to see done.
Interesting. Now, at the end of your tenure as the president, even though you haven't assumed office yet, what would you like the people of Rotary Club of Ikoyi Metro to remember you for?
Well, I want them to remember that Kunle Adeyanju came in as president. He leveraged on the good work all the previous presidents have done, but he took the club to a height which no one hasn't done before.
I like that. I like that. So let me come back again. Now, in the course of your trip, you met a lady who blew you away. That's talking about Zainab. I can see you're already smiling. Are you both looking at moving the friendship or the relationship to the next level? Or it's, because I was at the district the day you came back. She came also to Nigeria too. She was part of those who came to welcome you. So what are we looking at now as far as that relationship or friendship is concerned?
Okay. Let me rephrase the question a little bit.
Okay, go ahead.
Do I like Zainab? The answer is yes, I like Zainab a lot.
Okay.
Would I like to be with Zainab? The answer is yes, I love so much to be with Zainab. Then the third part is Zainab available? The answer is no.
She's not available.
So that is the challenge. You know, sometimes in life
Wow.
you want something so much in life, but it doesn't come.
Wow.
So it's
What?
okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can't even find the right word to describe this. Okay, now, for the benefit of those who were not there when you people met, could you take us through how yourself and Zainab met?
Okay,
Let's even.
I met Zainab 6 months ago, about 6 months plus ago. And that was when I was building the plan for working hard on the plan for this adventure. And you know, I just didn't want to rely on all the information I got on the internet, like the CIA's fact book, the SIS intelligence report, or the German DSB report. I wanted something deep. I needed somebody to give me on the ground information, people who are connected, who can give me, you know, good intelligence information on the ground. So I got connected to Zainab through a friend, and Zainab was actually able to connect me to people in Senegal, in Mali, in Gambia, in Guinea Conakry, in Cote d'Ivoire, in Lomé, in Benin, who were able to basically all the Francophone countries, people who are connected, you know, like deep, really connected into the country's system, who were able to provide me good, intelligent information that helped me, you know, to plan my route and, you know, how to go and what to do in all these places. So in the process of that 6 months of working together with Zainab, I discovered she had a very, very beautiful heart. And so that was how the whole fire got ignited.
All right, talking about this fire, you know, I also remember that at the district, you know, the day you came back, you know, they were trying to ask you about your marital status and everything. What exactly is your marital status?
Well,
Are you married?
I have children. The other part is complicated. I'm separated. That's
Okay, okay, you're married but separated. Okay,
yeah.
okay. Now, what are the other things about your petting that you like us to know? You know, things that many people do not know about that you like to share with them.
Okay. Well, I love. I'm an ardent cyclist.
Okay.
I cycle like there is no tomorrow. I'm an author. I've published 2 books available on Amazon, on Apple, on Google Books, and major bookstore around the world. And I'm just a good guy and a good Rotarian, you know.
All right, I will take like 3 more questions so that I will free you. Now, I need you to tell us about your childhood. Where did you grow up? And what fond memories of your childhood can you still remember?
Well, I think I have a host of. Well, I grew up in several places. My parents kept moving around. I grew up in Nigeria and outside Nigeria, but I was born in Kano, and I did my primary school in Kano. You know, then yeah, and I went to ABU Zaria. Um, that's Ahmadu Bello University Zaria, where I did my first degree. I'm presently working on my
What
PhD,
did you study for your first degree?
agric economics.
Okay, agri
Then
economics. Okay.
I'm currently working on my PhD with University of Phoenix, Arizona. At the same time, also I'm doing an MSc program. Also, I have an MBA degree. A bit about my previous career life. I started my career with British American Tobacco, where I worked for like about 7 years. Then from there, I joined Oando Gas and Power. I worked for 18 months. Then I moved to Shell, where I spent the better part of my life. That's Shell Petroleum. I did like about 15 years plus with Shell before I decided to leave Shell to set up my own business. So now I'm into real estate, and that's what I do now. Um, what else again about me? Okay, favorite childhood memories. I just remember that I was always causing trouble. I'm always getting into one trouble or the other when I was a kid. Though now I'm a lot calmer, gentle now, but then I know I was a lot hyper. And so there were a lot of troubling, I mean, various.
I like that. I like that. I'm going to take 2 more questions. Your love, for power bikes, how did it start? What triggered it? What prompted it?
Yeah, like it's all about the thrill. Like I do, like I told you, I ride a bicycle a lot. It's about the thrill, the touch of the sweet pain when you ride bicycle and when you go through that, tough moment. It's the sweet pain. Now the bike also is adrenaline sport. Like you want to feel the heat. Like check the sound, check out the sound when you rev and look at the die speed when you're maneuvering the bend. Like you put all your attention, all your energy, all your focus into it. That if you lose focus, you can go down. So, I like things to put me on that edge. Always I ask myself, what is my breaking point? Like there's a particular climb on this ride, there's a particular path I actually went to pass through, which is called the Tinzi-Tichka Mountain Pass. It's a mountain pass. The Atlas Mountain is about 2,500 kilo that cuts off Morocco and Algeria. So, and the Atlas Mountain is about 5,000 meters above mean sea level. That's almost close like 16,000 feet or 15,000 feet plus. I had that plan it wasn't part of my route. But because I wanted to know what it feels like to climb, to do the mountain pass, to do the twisties, that road of twisties that takes you to the top of the mountain and down. Because I wanted to know what it feels like. I want to feel the adventure. I want to feel the adrenaline. I want to be on that edge where, like it's a thin line between survival and death. And it takes an hour, 30 minutes to go through that torture. And that's why I did it. And, it's the kind of road, like I said, that if you take your eyes off the road for 1 second, or you allow yourself to think for 1 second and you lose focus, you go into the ravine and that's it. So I like pressure like that. And what gives you those kind of pressure? And in the hard way, a power bike. So that's it.
I like that. Now, since you started riding these power bikes, have you had any major accidents?
No, none. But have I dropped the bike? Yes, I've dropped the bike twice, but I've not had any accident.
Okay. When you say you dropped the bike twice, what does it mean to drop the bike? I'm not a biker, so I don't know.
Have I fallen off the bike? Yes, I've
fallen off the bike. Okay, I get that. Now let me take the last question so that I can free you. The outpouring of love has been unprecedented. What would you like to say to all Nigerians, people all over the world, Africans who have been celebrating you, who have been, commending and appreciating and applauding you for that adventurous journey and trip that you made from London to Nigeria?
Yeah, thank you for that question. Let me just step back a little bit. Some people asked me yesterday, they said they don't understand, just like what you said, that we can't understand why people not like you so much, like what you're doing so much. Because it's like cutting a wave around the world that everybody loves it. What is that unique thing that you're doing that is different that make this? And I said, okay, let me ask you, when we were growing up as a child, what is that if you have a child and you give a child a Spider-Man gift, a superhero gift, how do you think the child feels? You made his day. Why does the child feel so cool about being associated with a superhero or being this Spider-Man as his friend? It's because Spider-Man goes out to take on that difficult thing for the sake of humanity, not for himself. So I said, people are just being good human beings. They appreciated what I did because I did this not for me, but to address a noble cause for people that I don't even know, that I may not meet. And that is why people love this. And that's why people shower the love back for me.
Wow. Interesting. It's on that note that I'd like to bring our session to a close. Once again, I want to commend you for your time, for your thoughts and everything. But above all, for doing Rotary proud. For letting more people know about Rotary, for letting more people know about polio, and the danger or the dangers, inherent in that disease. Thank you so very much. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so very much. I look forward to us having a wonderful time, in the next Rotary year,
Thank
the
you.
imaginative Rotary year when we are going to be working together. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All those who joined us, thank you very much. Thank you. I'm very grateful. Thanks so much. Thanks.
Thank you.
God bless all of you and goodbye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Yes. Thank you.